Hello Reborners, my name is Karen and this is Making Dolls with Karen. I'm here today I have my candy replacement head and I'm going to make her to go with the limbs because the head that I made before, you know, it had the big crack in it and I glued it and all that. Well, she came out okay, but I didn't root her. And so I want the one that I'm going to sell with limbs and make into a whole doll to have hair. So I'm going to do a replacement head and I'm just going to sell the other head for just a cuddle head or something. But anyway, I also wanted to say, hey, it's now Friday. Uh, the contest ends on Monday, so there's like today and Saturday and Sunday and up until Monday until noon, and then the contest will end. Uh, and if you're watching this video after the contest already ended, well, there's no contest to even know anything about. But I put up a contest to give away a doll, and the contest requires, well, first of all, it requires you follow all the rules. One of them is you have to be a subscriber with a public subscription so I can see that you're a subscriber. And next, you have to watch at least 10 of my videos. And third, you have to like every single one of my videos. And then you have to answer 20 questions. And the person who answers the most questions will win the doll. So there's only a few days left, so if you're going to participate in the contest, you need to hurry up and do so. We've had one person to enter, so someone will be getting a doll. If nobody else enters, she'll get it. She answered all the questions correctly except one, and which is phenomenal. She must have really binge-watched my videos to get the answers. But anyway, we're going to work on candy, and we're going to work on maybe talk a little more about the contest. I don't know, but I also wanted to tell y'all I ordered my waterborne paint, so when they get here, I'm going to do an air dry doll. I don't know if I'll ever do another one after that, but I'm going to do one. They weren't very expensive. I bought a starter kit and put 2 other colors beyond the starter kit, and I think I spent around $40, so it's not that expensive. It came with, I think, everything you're supposed to have. I don't know. I'm going to check with my tipster and see if there was any other products that I absolutely have to do this. I don't know. I don't know. I may be checking with her about mixing the paint and all kinds of things. But anyway, we're going to get started on candy. And since she represents a very big doll to me, she's not a newborn at all. She looks like she's about 3 or 4 months old at least. And she's very doll looking. I'm not going to be trying to make her look super realistic like a baby. I'm just going to make her into a pretty doll, which is going to be mostly rosing up her cheeks. I'm not going to put the blue on her. She doesn't need any blue on her. I'm looking at the one up there that I made before. She's done very well, but she's got that pencil hair. I don't like it anymore since I've been rooting hair. And I wanted her to have some rooted hair. I see her as a blonde. I don't know what y'all see, but I do want to try to make her as best as I can. So I'm going to just start with rosing her up a little bit. I'm going to color inside of her mouth with this paintbrush, this great big giant paintbrush I have in my hand. It's going to be kind of hard to get inside of her mouth. I know I can stick my finger in there and pooch out her mouth a little bit. And, well, it's way up. Her mouth is way up. Oh, my goodness, it's way up. And the rags just... When you have rags, it's not easy to stick your fingers inside the doll's head. What you have to do is kind of pooch it out the best you can. Sometimes I hold it against me. That is just hard to reach. My fingers are not that long. So, needless to say, I won't be doing that. Let me just get a smaller brush that'll fit inside her mouth better. The whole idea is that you get every bit of the inside of the mouth painted a lot better if you pooch it open. If you've got longer fingers than me or you don't have any stuffing in your doll's head, you can reach it, but I cannot reach it. I'd have to unstuff her entire head, and I don't want to. Anyway, here we go. We're going to just paint her lips kind of a little bit. Just a little bit so that whenever we start trying to build up the lips, it already has a slight little bit of color on it. And I cannot see through those glasses hardly at all. I need very much to get another pair of glasses. I need a smaller brush. Some of these brushes are just too too big. I'm just believing this one doesn't have enough paint in it to do any good. But maybe I can just do the edges of her lips a little bit. Right where it turns into not being lip anymore, you don't want to go past that line. So that's why I'm using a smaller brush, because that one is just fat. And the bristles are just splayed out a little bit. And it's going to make it go past where this doesn't have any color enough in it. It's going to make it go a little past where I want the color to go. So anyway, here we go. We're going to color her up the best we can. For Rose in her face, I was going to use a much fatter brush that had a lot more color in it. I'm looking at what did I do to her before. She looks very pretty. I like the one up there. But I don't like that she has penciled hair. And I couldn't root her. I was going to go on and root her anyway, but where I glued her, it was over here on the side of her head. The glue got hard, and when I tried to stick the needle in, I started right there, right above her ear, because that's where the glue was. And I wanted to make sure before I did her whole entire head that over here was going to be able to take some hair, because, you know, once you root the entire head, you almost pretty much have to continue. And so when I did that, it was breaking the needles. And so I said, well, I'm never going to have enough needles to finish this up, because, well, it's just breaking every needle that sticks in there because it's too hard. And anything to soften the glue would make it not work. So I just figured, okay, well, I can't do it, so might as well get used to that. Okay, so now I'm just going to rose her face up a little bit. She's going to be an easy doll to do because, like I said, I don't have limbs to do. They're already done. And I am not doing a lot of extras on her. Like, you know, I'm not going to be veining her or capillaries or painting her ears a different color or any of that stuff. I'm just going to rose her up a bit on her cheeks a little bit, and up here on her forehead a little bit. And then I'm just going to pounce that out, and we're going to bake her. And in her baking process will be much faster. Well, it won't be any faster because, well, she's still got to heat up and then has to cool down. But her painting will be much quicker because, you know, it's just going to be pretty much the layers besides this blush. I like the blush first. A lot of people do the blush last, and it really doesn't make any difference. It's whatever you like. But I like my blush to look a little less stark and on top. I want it to look a little, to me, it just looks a little more natural, just a little. If it's an undertone. Now, a dark undertone is okay. It's okay to make it as dark as you want or as light as you want. It's whatever you like, that's what's okay. I have to put a little more over here because on the other side it comes up higher. It's coming up way by her eyes. And on that side it was just coming up barely to her eyes. Okay, Candy, looking good so far. And then when I go to paint her lips, it's only going to just be lips. I don't have to do nails. Huh? This is fantastic. I think there's something to this only doing heads. A lot of people only do heads, and they just put them on cuddle bodies. And some people just sell their heads and let other people make their own cuddle bodies. But I enjoy making the whole doll most of the time. Candy's not exactly what you'd call a beautiful doll. She's just kind of plain. She's kind of dolly looking. She's never going to look like a beautiful baby. She's just going to look like a doll the whole time. But she's a cute doll. She makes a cute doll. If you're looking at her as a doll, she looks fine. If you're looking at her as a baby, you're going to go, oh my goodness, that's a strange looking baby. And that's what she is. I bought her from the picture in the book. I mean, on the website book. I don't know where I got book. She looked a little different to me. She was rooted with some curly blonde hair. She was very cute. And I thought, oh, that'd make a cute doll. And so I ordered her, and she's funny looking. She didn't look like her mouth was completely round open like that. She just looked like her mouth was slightly open in the picture. But they were showing her from an angle. Sometimes they don't show the dolls in a way that you can really, really tell what they really look like. It's more of a, I don't know what you'd call it, a trick photography is what I want to call it, where you don't see the complete face, and so you can't really tell what they completely look like. But anyway, I'm really excited that somebody answered my questions. I was beginning to think nobody was going to. I know a couple people are probably still trying to gather their answers, but I did want to say we've had one person, so there will be a winner. As long as one person answers, they could be the winner if nobody else answers. And it doesn't matter how many they get right. All they have to do is get one right. And she got them all but one. She got every one of them right but one. She must have really either been keeping up with my videos all along and just remembers good, or she went back and binge watched all my videos so she could answer the questions. So I don't know which one's the answer, but we'll find out. I'll ask her. She did everything she was supposed to do, so she is in. Oh, these lips, I'm telling you. Because her mouth is so open, there's a large area inside of her mouth that you have to, paint. Then her lips are kind of full as well, so there's a lot of lip area. That is a lot of painting. I try not to get much on my brush at one time because it's much easier to spread it out if you don't have so much on your brush at one time. At least I find it is. I'm anxious to see if I'm going to like this waterborne paint. I know I didn't like the other two kinds I tried, but possibly this one will be better. I ordered it yesterday, so I get my check a little bit early because I use Chime. Chime is a wonderful, wonderful place to bank. There's no physical bank to walk into, but who does that anymore? Most everybody gets direct deposit and they use their debit card. And if you need cash or you need to deposit money or anything into your account, you can actually go to Walgreens and do it. They don't charge anything for it. Or you can go to Walmart. They do charge, but it's a nominal fee. It's a smallish fee. So you don't have to worry about it costing you a lot of money. And, if you're going to do it, find somebody who's already a Chime member and let them send you a code, and you both get some money for, wow, this is really hard. I'm trying to follow her lip line, and it's very, very vague. I'm having a little bit of trouble doing it. Yeah, find somebody who's already a Chime member and let them send you a code because you both get money as soon as your first direct deposit hits the bank. I believe it's $100 that you get. You each get $100. And sometimes they have it where you get the person who's referring you, the person who sends you the code, will get $200 and you'll get $100. But most of the time it's 100 and 100. And it's just for signing a new person up. You have to get a qualifying direct deposit, like from your employer or Social Security or something, and they want to know that you have you're going to reoccur with some, there's her lips. That's her first painting on her lips. I have a feeling these videos are going to be kind of short. All I have is a head. Anyway, that's her first coat, and so she will be ready to do something else to her when we come back. Her head looks extremely elongated. I wonder if it's the way it's stuffed. That other head doesn't look that elongated. It looks more round. I'm thinking of going back to using polyfill. When I heard that polyfill causes, it swells. Polyfill swells when you put it inside your doll's head and you heat it. And so I noticed on some of my dolls before that, and I wondered why their head looked so much bigger than it did before I started painting them. And I just chalked it up to maybe it's just my imagination, but it wasn't. And so that's when I changed to rags, because they don't swell. But what they do is they don't go evenly into your doll's head unless you're super, super careful to place them so extremely well. And there'll be little like air pockets in parts of the doll's head where the rag didn't go into, and there'll also be other parts where it's much more filled up and puffier, and that can misshape your doll's head as well. So I'm thinking about putting some polyfill in her head as well. I had to do it to Maddox because his head was such an extremely odd shape, and I just couldn't get over the odd shape of his head. And to keep her head from getting any weirder looking, I'm still looking at that doll up there on the shelf to see why this doll head. I don't think Candy's a very quality kit. I think that she's made out of very, very thin vinyl, for one thing. That might be why the other one split, and it also would account for this one elongating, because her vinyl is extremely thin and it warps very, very easily. Now this is one problem you don't have to worry about. I can't reach that polyfill in that box because it's getting so low. I'm gonna have to order polyfill too. Looks like I have plenty, but I really don't. There's hardly any in that box. It accounts for her head, warping. Thin vinyl warps a lot easier. That's something you don't have to worry about if you're using air dry, because you don't heat them, so they don't warp. And it's unlikely you'd get a split in the doll's head as well. But that's rare. I hardly ever have gotten a split in my doll's head. It's usually because I either overbaked or I didn't stuff their head. Sometimes if you don't stuff their head, it'll sort of sink in and collapse like that. And that's one of the things that causes those splits. The vinyl will collapse so far that the doll's head will begin to just fold in on itself or something. I don't really know how to describe it. That's better. Her head looks a little more round now. Her cheeks are coming out a little. And she doesn't look quite as elongated as she did. She's still elongated, but some of that will come out now that she's stuffed properly. The polyfill can stuff more evenly. I'm beginning to change my opinion of polyfill. I used it for many years, and really and truly, I don't remember that many dolls, only the ones that were really, really tightly stuffed, having any problem with stretching the vinyl any. But I did notice on a few dolls, and one of them was one of the Lelanis I made a long time ago. She was very, very, her head was just huge. It just got so big, and I was very dissatisfied with it, so. And then I heard somebody telling, well, I didn't hear it, it was typed into the doll group, that putting polyfill in your doll's head can stretch your doll's head because it swells. And I thought, well, that might be what's happening to my doll heads. And so I changed to rags, but now I'm having a new opinion about polyfill. If you don't stuff it, see, she looks much better now. She doesn't look quite as elongated to me. And I think some of that elongation will, like I said, she's not stuffed real tight up here. That would push her head further out. I think it might actually go down a little. So we're going to see when she bakes. Anyway, I want to remind y'all to please enter the contest. It's not hard. The questions aren't even that hard, I don't think. But, I mean, the first person answered all of them but one correctly. And I think it's pretty easy because I'm just constantly talking about stuff. Just talking. And anyway, she got them all right, but one. Anyway, so anyway, if you want to enter, just go ahead and enter. You don't have much longer to do it, but we're going to get Candy in the oven and get her baked. And I am working on Lane at the same time, but he's in the oven now. I'll get him out and put her in, and then I'll make the second. I already have one video on Lane, and then I'll make a second video on Lane while she's baking. It's a little confusing if you don't keep up really close with what you're doing. Lane's going to have more enhancements. I couldn't get his coloring dark enough on his hands and feet, so I decided to bake him and then come back and do the rest of it because you don't want to mess up what you've already done. Anyway, I'm going to ask everybody to please remember to like, subscribe, and share, and happy reborning.